To be very honest, guys, being a creative is one of the most fun and lucrative parts that I actually ventured into. If you are a creative like me also, in this video, I'm literally going to be sharing 4 different ways you can make money as a creative. Now, when I talk about a creative, I'm not just talking about a content creator. Yes, a content creator, literally what I'm doing, I am being a creative. A content creator is a creative. There are other ways, there are other things you can do as a creative. Now, the first way is product photography and videography. Yes, now when people hear the term photography, videography, they mostly tend to relate it to, shooting human beings. The idea of shooting products only hardly comes to their mind. Now, product photography and videography literally has to do with you shooting product content. Now, this is one part of being a creative that I am literally so obsessed with, and I would literally love to venture into. Like, one of the things I love about product photography and videography is that in most cases you can choose not to even show your face or any of your body parts, and at the same time it can literally be very, very lucrative. So basically, a product photographer or videographer is somebody or a creative that literally comes up with creative shoot ideas, be it photo shoot ideas or video shoot ideas, using a particular brand's content or to help promote a particular brand's content. Now, there are some brands that specifically looks out for creatives or product photographers / videographers that will help them to create appealing content. They just want to show close-up shots of their products. This is an example of product photography, of product videography. Now, let's go through some important skill sets that you need to have if you want to follow this path or this creative path of being a product photographer / videographer. The first one, and that is the most important on the list, and that is creative thinking. Creative thinking. Like, are you a creative if you do not know how to think creatively? As a product photographer or a videographer, you need to actually sit down. See, you are not using human being. You might not be showing body parts. You might not be showing human beings in your shoot. Now, for you to be able to now spice up the shoots, the product shoots that you want to make, you need to think creatively. What type of concept am I going to use? What type of angle am I going to use? What type of props am I going to use? Like, how am I going to compile this thing? How am I going to create this content? Like, just think creatively to know how you can better promote that brand's product. Make sure that brand's product turns out looking appealing. So you need to literally sit down and think creatively. So that is one of the important skill sets, which is creative thinking. The second one is lighting technique skill. As a product photographer, as a matter of fact, as a photographer / videographer, whether you're shooting products, you're shooting human beings, you're shooting anything, as long as you're a photographer and videographer, lighting is very, very important. See, lighting can make or break your content. You can make use of bad lighting and it is going to subdue the important feature or the important key feature that you're supposed to show about that product. Now, when you use good lighting, like when you're able to properly use lighting, be it natural lighting, which is this sunlight lighting that I'm using to film this video, or artificial lighting like using your ring light, your LED light, and so on, be it natural or artificial lighting, it is very important that you know properly how to use lighting to better enhance your content, to better enhance your shoots. You might use a particular lighting technique for this shoot and it will turn out well. If you take that same lighting technique and use it on another shoot, it might not turn out well. So that is the reason why I am saying that as a photo photographer / videographer, you really, really need to be so good when it comes to lighting. It's because it can literally make or break your content or your shoots. Now, another important skill set for product photographers / videographers is angles. Yes, aside lighting messing up your shoots or even making your shoot look more appealing and so superb, angles is another key skill that a product photographer / videographer needs to learn and understand. Now, there are different angles that you can utilize to help spice up your product shoots, but for this video I'm only going to be mentioning only 3 different angles. The first one is low angle angles. Now, making use of low angles can literally make your subject or the product that you're shooting for appear more powerful. Now, the second one is high angle. Now, using high angle in your product shoot can literally make your shoot turn out looking more vulnerable. Now, the third one is eye level angle. Eye level, just like this video I'm filming, this is eye level angle. I am looking directly to the camera. I'm not looking down. My camera is not down. My camera is not up. My camera is eye level. Now, this type of angle will help foster a sense of connection. Now that I am talking directly to the camera, I am looking at you directly to the camera, you are going to feel that sense of connection. I don't know if you're understanding what I'm saying. As I'm looking at you face to face, you're feeling that sense of connection. This girl is talking to me directly. So that is why I said eye level angle literally fosters a sense of connection. So these are different angles that you can utilize when it comes to product photography and videography. And something else I'm going to make mention of is you need to understand when to use which angle. Aside you knowing different angles to use, it is also important that you learn to understand when it is the right time to use that particular angle for your shoot. So these are just some skill sets or important skills that you need to have as regards product photography and videography. That's one of the ways you can get clients is majorly through brands. So let's say you want to be focused on the skincare niche, then you know that you should be targeting skincare brands that are interested in this type of content. And one of the best ways or one of the easiest ways you can actually find this brand is by following or looking at the brands other creators in your field have worked with previously. Now, when it comes to startup capital, what I'm just going to say personally, or what I love saying, is that startup capital literally depends on you as a creative. Now, you can decide to start up in a cheaper way. You can decide to start up in a more expensive way. Now, what I mean by that is you can decide to start up with your iPhone to shoot videos, or you can decide to start up with a digital camera to shoot videos. The cheaper way is with your iPhone. The more expensive way is with your digital camera. Now, to just summarize some of the benefits of being a product photographer slash videographer, the first benefit is that you do not need any educational background. All you just need is the skill set at product photography and videography. The second one is that it is very, very flexible and you can literally work from home. Now, the next benefit is better skill set equals to high pay or higher pay. Now, what I mean by this is the more you get good as a product photographer slash videographer, the more brands are willing to pay you more for that skills. Okay, and then another benefit of being a product photographer slash videographer is that it helps foster your creative expression, thereby allowing you to show off your creative side or your creative skill. So this is another benefit of being a product photographer slash videographer. Now, the next creative skill is creative directing. You can become a creative director. Now, if you're this type of person that before you create a content, you love coming up with mood board, you love coming up with concepts, compiling, let's say, the type of hairstyle that you're going to use, the way your cloth is going to be like, the way your angle is going to be like the way you want this shoot to literally come out. You plan everything from A to Z. If you notice that this is one side of you that you love, that you're super obsessed with, then one thing you can venture into is creative directing. Now, from my own understanding and from my own explanation, if you ask me who is a creative director, I will say a creative director is someone or a creative that helps bring your dream to life, starting from A to Z. First of all, they create the initial strategy. Let's say, for example, now with a brand hires a creative director. That creative director is going to create the initial strategy. How does this brand want this shoot to be like? You can use a mood board, form a strategy, a concept, how that shoot aligns with the brand's value. A creative director is someone that sorts out for people that will help carry out that process. First of all, the creative director has created a concept, maybe using a mood board. The creative director was like, okay, this is the way I want the makeup to turn out. This is the way the hairstyle is supposed to turn out. This is the way I want the angle to look like. Now, a creative director sort out, I said a creative director sort out for people that will carry out that process to ensure that it aligns with the brand's value. Now, in that instance, a creative director reaches out to a hairstylist. With the mood board, the creative director shows the hairstylist how the hair is supposed to turn out to make sure that the shoot turns out perfectly, exactly the way the brand wants it. Same way goes to sorting out for videographers/photographers, sorting out for makeup artists, and so on. Now, another task of a creative director is that at the day of the shoot or the execution of that shoot, a creative director is a must. A creative director must be there to direct the team members, the fellow team members that are involved in carrying out the shoot. Okay, let's say the models. Direct the models. No, this is how it's supposed to be. Direct the videographers. No, this is how it's supposed to be. Okay, to ensure that at the ending of that shoot, they're able to get a result that aligns with what the brand or what that creative director's client actually needs. Now, some skill sets or qualities of a creative director. The first one is visionary thinking. Now, this is one of the most important skill sets for every creative director. So, a brand reached out to you as a creative director, said that I want to carry out a shoot. I want to do a campaign, and this is how I want it to turn out. Now, as a creative director, you will visualize what that brand is already visualizing. After you finish visualizing it, you would now come up with a concept, okay, to make sure that you actually meet up with your client's goal or your client's dream. So that is why visionary thinking is very, very important. Now, another important skill is communication skill. See, as a creative director, literally from the beginning of your job, from the beginning of that shoot to the ending of that shoot, you will be communicating. Starting with communicating with your clients, what their vision is all about, how they want their shoot to turn out. You would need to effectively communicate well with your clients to understand very well what your client is looking out for. Also, when it gets to the aspect of you sorting out team members, fellow team members, you have to communicate effectively to make sure that you pick the right team member. Another way is when you are managing and addressing, like when the shoot is being carried out and you're managing it. When a model is not doing the right thing that you want that model to do, or the videographer is not giving what you expect, you communicate with them. You let them know that, no, I don't like it this way. Let's do it this way. So communication skill is a very, very important skill if you want to be a creative director. Now, another important skill set is collaborative skill set. Yes, as a creative director, you need other team members. So you are going to be working with a lot of other team members. Now, you need to know how to collaborate effectively with other people to ensure that at the ending of the shoot, you are able to meet up to the goal of the brand or of your client. Now, another important skill set for every creative director is leadership skills. See, as a director, as a creative director, other team members are looking up to you. Yes, the models are looking up to you. The makeup artists are looking up to you. They are looking up to you to direct them, to lead them properly, so that at the end of that shoot, you guys come up with the goal that brand or your clients actually need. So you must develop leadership skills. These are some skill sets as regards creative directing. If you're someone that also wants to venture into creative directing, just understand or just know that it is a very lucrative business. Yes, it is a very, very lucrative business, and in overall, it is very, very fun. As a creative director, you have the opportunity to meet a lot of other creatives, meet other wonderful videographers, makeup artists, hairstylists, fashion stylists, and so on, and even work with top brands. Now, the next way you can monetize as a creative is by selling stock photos and videos. Yes, now when people hear the term selling stock photos and videos, most cases they tend to relate it to using other stock photos slash videos websites or platforms. Yes, that is part of it. That is one of the ways you can sell stock photos as videos. But I am also going to be breaking down, or I'm also going to be explaining to you two other ways that you can actually sell stock photos as slash videos as a creative. Now, I'm going to use myself for example. I am a content creator. I have a second account or personal brand, that girl Chioma, where I talk about skincare, beauty, and so on. Now, as a skincare content creator, I can literally compile different skincare videos that I've filmed before. So take for example now brand A. I have filmed like let's say 20 different videos in the past for brand A, but those 20 videos, that brand has never sponsored me. I just filmed it like posted it on my TikTok account, for example. Now I can go back and compile those 20 contents, or maybe compile 10 of the best or the best performing of those 20 contents, compile everything. Then I can make use of the Canva app, compile it into the Canva app, then bring it into a particular file just to showcase those contents that I've created for that brand. Now, when I compile everything using the Canva app, I can reach out to that brand with the sole purpose of me selling those contents that I have filmed for them in the past. When I showcase them, then I can tell the brand that, let's say, pitch an idea of them buying these contents, showing them how amazing this content turned out, and if they would love to purchase it. Now, brands literally pays content creators to create good and amazing content for them. Is that that creator will post it on their social media platform, or in some cases the creator will not even need to post it on their social media platform. It's just like UGC. As a UGC creator, all you just need to do is create content for brand and send it to that brand. Then that brand will now use that content for promotional purposes. See, it is just the same thing when it comes to selling it in form of stock photos and videos. The only difference here is that you are compiling past videos, past amazing videos you have created using that brand's content, and you are promoting it to them. You are showing them, maybe reaching out to them on their email, using their email. If that brand goes through it and they really loved what you created for them, they can actually end up buying those contents. So let's say it is 10 contents, and let's say for example now a brand pays a UGC creator $100 to film just one UGC video for them. Now you have 10 videos, and let's say you want to sell those 10 videos for $1,000 for that brand, so that brand will use it for their promotional purposes. This is literally one way you can actually make money selling stock photos slash videos as a creative. So in order for you to stand out following this route, it is very advisable that you attach other key insights, because when you do this, it is going to make your content look more valuable to that brand. Now, some of those key insights is number of views. So let's say that content you created, let's say that content got like 500,000 views, or even more than that, or lower than that. You can literally impute the number of views that video got. That way you are instantly telling that brand that if they use that your content to run ads, that content has a high possibility to sell, to bring in customers. Now the other way is engagement, imputing other key engagement insights like comments that you got on that video or photo. Aside comments, the amount of saves, how many people saved that content when you posted it, how many people shared that content when you posted it, how many people liked that content when you posted it, and so on, are other vital key insights that will help that your stock photo slash video stand out to that particular brand. Now the second way you can sell your stock photo slash videos is by following the route of digital marketing, like selling it as a digital product. So in this way you can also make use of Canva. You compile some content, some videos. So let's say you want to compile some stock photos or stock videos that is going to help business owners. You compile it and turn it into a file. You can follow the route of you hosting it on your website. If you have a website, for example, you follow the route of you hosting it on your website. You can bring out like few videos to showcase what is inside that stock photo slash video file. Another way is by hosting those digital products or those compiled file on platforms like Etsy, Stan Store, Shopify, and so on. And then the third route is the one I spoke about, where people just use all the stock websites. Now, the only thing about using all the stock websites is that you have to wait until they approve of your content or until they approve of your video or your photo. Okay, now you can also follow the route of using stock websites, and some stock websites, we have Shutterstock, we have Pixels, we have Adobe Stocks, and so on. There are a lot of stock websites that you can use to host and sell your stock photos and your stock videos. So this is literally another way you can monetize or make money as a creative. Now the next way you can make money as a creative is becoming a graphic designer. Yes, whether you like it or not, a graphic designer is literally tasked with coming up and creating or designing visually appealing content. This is one of the things a graphic designer is literally tasked with. So that is why I said a graphic designer is also a creative. Now, as someone who has an elder brother that is a pro in the graphic design industry or the graphic design niche, two things I have learned from him is that for you to be very successful as a graphic designer, you need to have it at the back of your mind that continuous learning and practicing is very vital. Continuous learning in the sense that as a graphic designer, you have to constantly learn and unlearn certain things. See, you cannot be stuck in the way people design things. Let's say 2010, you're still carrying it this generation of 2025. Things are evolving. You see this social media world of social media, things are evolving. The way people design their things 10 years ago, 5 years ago, will not be the same way they do it here. As a graphic designer, you must constantly have it at the back of your mind that you will be learning and be unlearning. Now, for constantly practicing, for you to get better at something, at what you do, you must always practice. You must always do that thing. Continuous practicing is very important for graphic designer. Now, let's go through some steps you can follow when it comes to becoming a graphic designer, or how can you become a graphic designer. The first one is developing your skill. Now, you can develop your skill by self-practicing. Okay, you can watch videos or tutorials on YouTube that is going to teach you certain things as regards graphic designing. And then another thing that can literally increase your pay as a graphic designer is your skill set. The more you get very good at your skills when it comes to designing, the more the way brands will be rushing you, the way clients will be rushing you, because you're so good at what you do. And that way you'll be able to charge well, because you know you are delivering quality, you know you are delivering something very amazing that brand will literally always fall in love with. That way you can charge well. Now, as a graphic designer, there are a lot of things you can design. One is you can design logo design for brands. The second one is website mockup. You can use tools like Adobe XD or Figma to design website mockups. The third one is social media content like YouTube thumbnails, for example. Another one is business cards and stationery, and then another one is packaging design. Another way, like I mentioned earlier, designing websites. Okay, another way is creating applications. So these are just some ways you can literally make money as a graphic designer. As a graphic designer, you would really need to learn how to think creatively in so many aspects. Take, for example, as regards color theory or representation. Now, as a graphic designer, in most cases, you will be tasked with working with different colors. You bring in one color, bring in another color to create a design. The reason why I said this is because if you do not understand color theory or color representation, you might end up using colors that does not match. You might end up using or bringing colors together that will mess up your whole design, that will literally make that design look childish. So learning color theory or color representation is very important. So guys, these are just 4 different ways you can make money as a creative. If you found this video very helpful, please kindly give my video a very big thumbs up. Okay, please like my video, subscribe to my channel, turn on the post notification bell so you'll be notified when next I upload amazing content like this. So guys, I will see you all in my next video. Bye.